everyone would love to know the insight into how a book is published. We have the author's papers, and we have the illustrator's artwork. But what about the publisher's role? What role did they play? How much influence did they have over the words that were included and the illustrations that were there and the jacket cover and all the decisions that one makes? How big would the print run be? It's the publisher who's making those decisions. Now, I knew a person named Walter McVitie who was like me, who was an academic, had taught children's literature. He'd also written about 5 books on Australian children's literature. He was a wonderful speaker. He had worked for the Primary English Teaching Association, so he had a long history, a long lifetime in children's books. And towards his retirement years, he thought, I think I'll just be a children's publisher. I haven't done that yet. So Walter and his wife Lois set up their own publishing company. They published 57 books over 13 years, which is, given that there were only the 2 of them, they worked off of a trestle table in an attic in Bundoora, Queensland. That would have been very hot, I would think. But anyway, when I heard that he was going to stop doing the publishing, I thought, wouldn't it be great to have a publisher's archive? They're so rare. There are only about 6 in Australia. And I thought, we have to have it. So I went to Walter and I said, do you think that, it might be possible if you would be willing to share the publishing insight? And he said, oh, that's a bit of a problem because I only hand wrote my letters and then I would get my wife Lois to type them up. I'll have to get her to type all the letters for you. Oh, no. I said, what we really want is, we really want the raw material. So what we've got is Walter McVitie's letters that might start out, Dear John, and this is in the handwriting, we need your material right away, stop whatever you're doing, get this done and send it to me. But the finished product would say something like, Dear John, it would be really helpful if you could get your materials to me soon. So those kinds of insights you would never have unless you had somebody like Walter McVitie. Well, because he was such a fascinating person, I asked him if he could write a history of his life in children's books. So he wrote a short history of Walter McVitie books, and it was so amazing that I said, I think it should be published, Walter. And he said, well, I'll have to make it a bit longer. So we both approached a publisher who by then had bought his publishing archive, and this was Lothian Books, which is now part of Hachette. And Lothian Books said, oh, it's fascinating. There's not another book like it. So there is a book now about a life in children's books, based on that first conversation I had with Walter, the fact that we now have all of the material. And he said, by the way, when I was doing my books on Australian children's authors and illustrators, I took pictures of them all. Would you like to have my photographs? And I said, yes, please. So what he gave us was his list and his photographs of all the authors and illustrators, and we've digitized those. And we have a long time project. We need a bit of money for this project, but we want to actually have the digitized audio tapes that we have accompanying these and the photographs, and have an amazing kind of virtual reality exhibition. I think this needs a bit of money and thought and places, but the aim is always to share the creative process. And with Walter, we're able to do that.